Now, in this first part, I'd like to ask you some questions about you. What do you do? Do you work or are you a student?
I am a student and I study at secondary school.
Right. And well, who do you study with?
I study with my friends and my favorite teachers. They are pretty nice to me.
And when did you start secondary school?
It's about 3 years ago.
Right. Okay. Is there anything in particular that you like about your studies?
Not really, but I like how people communicate lovely and happily with each others. So I really love my school.
The friendly students, friendly teachers.
Yeah.
Okay, and what would you like to study in the future?
I would like to study English in the future because they are useful for me and I can imagine if I could take a job from learning English.
Okay. What kind of job would you like?
I like to teach like you, or I can become an IT which can code and do many programs.
Very important professions. Okay, do you do any part-time work while at school or just studies?
I just study.
Okay, let's talk about restaurants now. How often do you eat in a restaurant?
Not much because my family is not really rich, so we often eat home cook and we don't eat at restaurant.
I, when you do eat at restaurants, which one is your favorite?
Oh, I don't really get the name of the restaurant I have ever eat because my parents choose it for me and I just go in there to have some food and go back home.
Okay. And if you were to choose, do you prefer restaurant food or home cooked?
I would prefer home cooked food because I love my mom cook. That is the best taste.
What's your favorite meal that your mom makes?
Rice, yeah, rice with fish and maybe some vegetable mixed with meat. Yeah.
Oh, sounds delicious. Okay, now I'd like to talk about the news now. How do you usually find out about world news?
I usually search on the internet and watch news on the TV show with my parents.
Okay. When did you last listen to the news on the radio?
I last listened to the news for about 2 days ago.
Okay, and which type of news articles do not interest
Well, actually, I don't really like the science news because it is boring for me and I don't like it because the name and the topic they have is not interested me at all.
you? Very advanced sometimes. All right. Do you think web-based news sites will become more popular than newspapers in the
Can you repeat?
Do you think web-based news sites will become more popular than newspapers in the future? And why not?
Yeah, I think, but it definitely depends on what kind and what do people want to use? Maybe the older people would prefer newspaper and the others do internet or websites. So it is depends.
All right. Would you like to be a journalist? Possibly.
No, I would say not because I am not a good communicator and I'm pretty shy if I speaking public.
Hmm.
So I I am not a, I don't want to be a journalist in the future.
Stage frights can be very scary. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a topic. I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you talk, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say. You can make notes if you wish. Do you understand? Okay. Here is some paper and a pencil to make your notes with. And here is your topic. I'd like you to describe someone who you think can or could communicate well with others. You have 1 minute. All right. Remember, you have 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I stop you. I will tell you when the time is up. Can you please
Yeah, I would like to introduce you about my friend. Her name is Quyên, and we study together in my class, and also we study in the extra class like excellent English class. Um, so we can prepare it for our examination. She is very nice and she does the exam perfectly. Also, she is open and friendly with other people. I remember that time she teach he taught me some vocabulary that I don't know. So he can talk and do some body language that make her feel more confident. And for me, that is amazing because at least he's she's doing her best to stay confident and stay focused to the lesson and be nice with other people. So in the future, she would be a good communicator because she wish and she tell me that that is her dream.
All right, very good. Do your friends also think she is a good communicator?
Yeah, I also think because he is very confident at speak in public. Okay? He make a lot of speech and presentation, so he always get a high score.
Right. Do you think it's easy to be a good communicator?
Now, it depends on our moods and our personality, because it is quite scary for everybody, I think, because communicate is shyness.
Sometimes we're afraid of being judged. All right, very good. We've been talking about good communication, and I'd like to ask you some more general questions about it. Let's consider the different forms of communication. What forms of communication, for example, letters, faxes, do people use these days?
Actually, these days people usually use message or keeping in touch with other people, because it is our time and the modern time that we develop the technology, so everyone can have a chance to be prepared and buy devices for ourselves. So message is easy.
All right. Okay. How are text messages different from letters?
We can say text messages very differences from letter, because a text can be sent instantly, and the letter can take a lot of time to send, and they will cost stamps and many money, so we can perfectly send it to other people.
True. Okay, let's move on to talk about communicating with people. Should parents or schools teach children how to communicate?
Yeah, they should, because communication is a very simple life skills for children, and they can help make the children feel more confident and make more friends, so they can have a successful life in the future.
All right. Do children communicate in a different way from adults?
Of course, they are different from adults, because children have a different minds and they think different from the older people. They can have a very styles, or some childish or selfish ways to talk or communicate. So
It's still growing and it takes some time. All right, thank you. That is the end of our speaking.